And like I said, the deeper you understand your audience, the better your marketing and sales will convert. And also the better your service and your product will be, and the better the numbers will look in your business. It all comes from a deep understanding of your ideal customer, your groups of ideal customers, and making sure that is shared. And so the goal as a marketer is when someone comes through your campaigns, they book in a call with the team and they say, I had a previous client came through and said to me, Rob, I don't know how you've done that. I never click on a campaign in Facebook at all. I never click anything. It's spammy. I hate it. I've never clicked on anything in Facebook at all. But your ad read my mind. I don't know how you've done that. I don't know what wizardry you're using to do this. I read your copy. Your ad jumped out at me. I took a quick look at it. I read through the ad. And by the end of it, I was convinced that this person had read my mind. And so I wanted to come through and speak to you. That, as a marketer, for me, is about the biggest compliment you can give me. And all that is, when you do get an ad, and we've all got them, when you get campaigns, and Facebook is particularly good for this because of the sophistication of its algorithm. When you get a campaign that hits your interest, absolutely spot on, they talk about the exact situation that you've been speaking to your partner about 5 minutes ago, and you've only just yourself got clarity on this is actually what's going on. You not even have time to process it in your own head, and an ad pops up that has read your mind and gives you that spooky feeling of, what the hell are they listening to in my conversations? What the hell is going on? How did they know that is the conversation that I've just had? This is how you do it as a marketer, and it skyrockets your conversion rates. Once you get this right and you get your copy dialed in to a degree that it talks about the exact pain points, needs, desires, struggles, challenges, and potential solutions that your perfect target customer is thinking about and in the process of thinking about. When you get that right and it just clicks, then your cost per lead will come way down. When your sales team understand that as well, and you've got sales decks and pitch decks that are matched to that, then it will massively increase your conversions at every stage of your marketing and your sales funnel as well. So I can't stress that enough. The deeper you understand exactly who your target customer is, exactly what they're struggling with, and the language that they're using to talk about it themselves with, or between colleagues, or between family, between friends, with their mum, the better results you will see across the entire business, not just in marketing and sales, but specifically in marketing and sales. Your conversions will be way, way better. I'm just going to run you through an example of how I would go about doing this as a marketer to put some copy together. So we're going to go with this example: heads of procurement, turning over 200 million pounds, financial services, media, software, geographies, UK and US. So look, the reality is I've got proven copy templates for ad copy for Google, LinkedIn, Facebook that I know works based on trial and error. So in a lot of cases, when I write copy these days, it's fill in the blank, or I'll just chuck it at ChatGPT and give it good prompts and good quality context and information for that particular case, and it'll spit out a copy for me. But it's still, in order to know what's good copy, what isn't, and what information it needs, you still need to know how to do this without the help of AI. If you put crap into it, it's going to give you crap back still. Heads of procurement. And I know, because I've worked with this client base, I've got a fairly decent understanding of what it is they struggle with. So I know that heads of procurement right now are struggling with commodity price fluctuations. I know that in the last 24 months, especially, prices of commodities have been insane. We all know it from going to the supermarket and the cost of everything going through the roof, inflation going through the roof, energy prices through the roof since COVID, basically. And that for a head of procurement is a huge headache and really impossible for them to try and figure out that volatility in prices, because these guys are having to purchase or set purchase orders for huge volumes of commodities way in advance from when they actually land on the shelf and you actually purchase them. And so their need to make sure that they are getting the absolute best possible price and that they're not going to purchase on a Tuesday and then the price at £3 billion for however many 300,000 tons of lithium or whatever that might be on the Tuesday, and then that price drops by 90% 3 days later, and they could have created the same contract and got the exact same output for a tenth of the price 3 days later. The better quality information that these guys have got, then the more they're able to make those decisions. And that really is their job, is to negotiate those prices and understand that. So that is a massive thing for them. So commodity price fluctuations, volatility in prices. What else have we got? I mean, that is the biggest pain point. What else have we got for a head of procurement? Okay, so my imagination has hit a wall. Where I'm going to go now is I'm actually going to go one of my favorite places to try and draw out pain points and challenges and get under the skin of my ideal customer and the kind of language that they're using to talk about their pains. Now, for this particular ideal customer profile, because we're talking about heads of department in enterprises, now I'm not sure that this is going to be the best place that I would go to find information. In that case, I might go to the FT or to, you know what? The FT is I'm pretty sure it's behind a paywall. But the first place I go as a marketer is a comment section of wherever they're getting their information and wherever they are engaging with content and information and as a community. So I might go to the FT, I might go to industry publications. I don't know any commodity or procurement industry publications off the top of my head. Let's just see what we can dig out. So procurement publications. See what comes back. But for a slightly more junior audience, I would go to YouTube. YouTube is gold dust, and the comment section on YouTube is pure gold for getting under the skin of the exact language that people are using to talk about their specific problems. And this works just as well for a B2B audience as it does for B2C. YouTube is a search engine in the same way that Google is. Business execs and leaders are searching for information and help on YouTube, which is likely where you're watching this, just as much as they are on other platforms. And the comment section on there, the information you get from there can be really valuable. Okay. No, probably not. Okay, so I'm just gonna scan a little bit of information from the homepage on here. Look at the kinds of headlines that are on here just to get a feel for the industry and the challenges. Source to pay processes, deep value of agentic AI. I'm looking at the most popular section on the right-hand side here, collaboration and procurement, what to expect from Davos. Okay, so of course, net zero is a massive thing for anyone in operations or procurement. Everything else. So any head of procurement is going to be concerned with that. How much, I don't know. I would want to get under the skin of that, because I've certainly seen other cases, like the other example I talked about earlier with a client who has a platform to reduce energy costs on large property portfolios. What they found after years is that actually the people involved in sustainability really don't pull any purse strings. And the people who actually make the decisions and actually pull the purse strings don't care about sustainability. As sad as that might be to hear that, the reality is that they just want to reduce their costs. They've got balance sheets to manage in order to keep the business afloat. And if they can save 5 million a year on their books from a simple solution, then that would be an absolute no-brainer for them. So that would make me question how much of a factor net zero and sustainability is for heads of procurement, but for sure it will be part of their thought process. Social impact is definitely jumping out here. It's popped up in a few of these headlines: net zero, sustainability, and social impact. Latest procurement technology. How to keep up with competition. A head of procurement at IKEA, who's buying however many billion tons of wood on an annual basis to produce their furniture, and know that their competitors at DFS or whatever the other direct competitors of IKEA are constantly going to be looking for one step ahead of their competition to try and outsmart them and constantly get better results for them for less budget. That is the job of anyone in procurement. And so keeping up with latest technology, whether that's AI, whether it's some logistics technology, whether it is data analysis technology that's going to improve their decision-making process, improve how their procurement departments function, for sure is going to be in there. Yeah, sustainability, net zero, social impact is 1, 2, 3, 4 out of less than 10 headlines here. So it clearly is a big, whether it's a direct concern in there when push comes to shove and they need to make a purchasing decision, who knows whether it's actually a big factor in their purchasing decision. But certainly a lot of industry buzz around those terms, as there is across most industries. What else have we got here? Estimating and negotiating processes. Now, I don't work in procurement. Procurement is not my background. This is a great example, actually, of why this exercise is so important. Me, as a procurement noob, I've got a basic understanding of what the estimating process looks like, and my understanding of it is better from a built environment perspective, where you've got teams of estimators whose job is to make sure that they are estimating the costs of projects as accurately as possible on multi-billion dollar construction projects in order to make sure that they're costing the project as effectively as possible and that they're winning work, but they are going to make a profit 5, 10, 15 years down the line when they do it. So I'm presuming, just on my very basic understanding of procurement, that there will be a similar structure in there. There will be teams involved in managing the costs of the purchasing department. And then there will be buying teams that will be going out and actually managing relationships with manufacturers and commodity producers in order to make sure that they are squeezing the most out of that. Now, this is a perfect example on why it's so important to get under the skin of your audience, and how in a sales conversation, once you've had 5 or 10 sales conversations, and it doesn't take a lot, and you're speaking to heads of procurement, they will speak to you and they will tell you what those departments are, what their function is, what their relationship is to them, what they're called. They will have a different name. It won't, I highly doubt it will be an estimating department in a procurement, in the procurement side of Coca-Cola or Pfizer or whatever it might be, but they will give you that information and they'll give you the exact language that you need to, as a marketer, talk about that particular process. But as you go through this exercise for the first time, then you have to stick as closely to to that as possible. And actually, the more time you spend doing this, it's so useful to refresh that and see, oh, okay, there's a new area. There might be a new technology that people are talking about. There might be a new set of buzzwords that are massive in the industry that's going to get more attention as you put your campaigns together. But you want to sense check this against the reality, either in publications where your target audience is spending their time, but really just get it from the horse's mouth as much as you possibly can. Find that information on what makes them tick from them directly as much as possible. So as a marketer, I would take this information, and in this example, then I'm going to put some real basic first version of ad copy together, just based on this super basic 5-minute analysis of that particular target audience. And so I would generally start, whether it's on LinkedIn or Google is slightly different because the character limit is structured a little bit differently, but I'm just going to put some LinkedIn ad copy together just as an example to show you. So heads of procurement, struggling with utility because it's too complicated. Every piece of copy I ever put together, I want a 5-year-old to be able to understand, because people see this at a million miles an hour. Heads of procurement, struggling with price volatility. Sit of your CEO pulling you to one side to drill home tight margins. 1 minute, then scolding you for scolding you for forgetting your net zero targets. The next, it can feel like a war zone. Call out my audience. The copy I'm putting together is based directly out of those pains that we've put together. And this isn't good quality copy. It's not awful, but with more time than we put together, something more hyper targeted on what their actual pain points are and the exact language that they use to talk about it. But it can feel like a war zone. Fortunately, X's new tool allows you to do X features and benefits, allows you to save, get forecasts, price forecasts within 10% accuracy with the click of a button. X is all to do, get price forecast within 10% accuracy with a click of a button. It allows you to give you and your buying teams the upper hand in supplier negotiations, and click below to speak to one of the team now. So quick call to action. And so hopefully that example gives you an idea of why it's so important to get under the skin of that ideal customer, not just you, but your teams, how to do it, where I would go as a marketer to do that, and how with that detailed understanding, your conversions, both on your marketing copy. So this marketing copy here probably can with a distinctive product in a not a hyper congested market, as long as you set up your campaigns properly, there's no reason why this wouldn't convert for a similar product. But with a bit more effort, with a bit more detailed understanding of exactly what those challenges are with price volatility, maybe the Ukraine war is affecting it, maybe there's a particular issue with energy prices that's come up in the last 3 months that you can really get under the skin of, to give people that feeling of how the hell have you read my mind? and those specific examples, the specific words that people are using, the specific language, that with a detailed and just a bit of extra time and effort, and not rushing around like headless chicken, which is easier said than done, just that extra bit of effort will increase the conversions on your campaigns. Your ads and your content will convert better. You will get more leads. People will show up to demos more because they'll feel like, because it will just do a better job of building the brand, building relationships before they even speak to a salesperson. And when your salespeople show up and they also have a super detailed understanding of those challenges and those pains and those needs, which, yes, in a large part, it comes from years of experience. But by doing this right and getting everyone on the team to do this right, you can massively accelerate. You can just make this a way smoother operation that gets you better results. So I hope that's helpful. I think what I'm probably going to do with these videos is I'm going to put together some sort of B2B surgery series where I literally just brain dump my expertise, and I'm just going to give you a step-by-step breakdown of what I would do to build a B2B marketing and sales team and department that's world-class and operating at a world-class level. It would be really helpful if you like, subscribe, follow along if you want more of these kinds of videos. And let me know what you think about the structure of the videos. Is it useful? Is it helpful? Do you want them shorter? Do you want them longer? What sort of structure do you want to them? And what kind of topics would be really helpful for me to just brain dump at you? This kind of information, this kind of consulting, I will run as consulting sessions, and it will cost senior leadership in businesses across the world thousands of pounds for a day's worth of consulting. And you're getting this for free on here. Make the most of it. Also, if you want resources, ad copy templates, breakdowns of ideal customer profiles and how we structure that in a bit more detail, reach out, drop us a message, jump on a call with us, and we'll be happy to help.